Go live, going live, going live, going live, going live, going live, going live, still going live, still going live, and according to YouTube, I am live. Hello, is watching live. Hello, if you watch this on playback, and welcome to my 40-second Let's Say live stream on this channel. So basically, if you don't know what these live streams are, essentially once or twice, or maybe even 3 times a week, although it definitely will be 3 times this week, but basically once or twice, or maybe even 3 times a week, I talk about, movie and TV news going on in the movie and TV world right now. And at the same time, though, I'll also be answering any live questions sent in during this live stream. So if you do have a live question, please do send it in the live chat below. I'd love to answer a live question. And also, if you have a topic you want me to talk about in my next live stream, please let me know in the comment section below, and I'll probably talk about it in my next live stream. But yes, that's basically what these live streams are all about. And actually, I've just realised I'm doing my live stream about half an hour early. Well, 20 minutes early, actually. I'm doing my live stream about 20 minutes early today. That wasn't intended. I literally just picked up my laptop and I just went along with everything. So hopefully everything works fine. Hopefully everything goes smooth. And so I should also say some other things actually, just in case things don't go smoothly. First of all, I live next to a main road, so at any point you might get some sound interference, like a loud bike, a loud car, a loud anything, motor vehicle that's going past outside. I do apologise. And also sometimes, even though I live in the countryside, it does feel like an a building site. There's honestly always some people working on the houses next to me. So at any point, I mean, it probably won't happen because I'm doing this quite late in the day now. But at any point, if you do hear like I don't know some drilling going in the background on this live stream, I do apologise. That's out of my control, and also out of my control is the stream today. Now I'm doing this on OBS, and my last stream cut out halfway through because OBS just went wild and something like that. So hopefully the stream connection works fine today. Hopefully it just works fine, but I can't control it. That's completely out of my control. So if the stream does cut in and out, I do apologise. It might happen, and if it does, again, it's out of my control, so I do apologise if that happens. But anyway, without further ado, let's talk about my main topics for today. So today, I'm talking about Spider-Man No Way Home and what's going on right now with that film. Because, man alive, like, the amount of things that we're just hearing about Spider-Man No Way Home daily is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And I'm going to be talking about Spider-Man No Way Home pretty shortly in this live stream. I'm also talking about the next Star Wars movie has been delayed, which I'm not too happy about. And also, I'm talking about my spoiler thoughts on Eternals. And if you watch my Eternals review, you know I absolutely hated that film. But even so, I got Star Wars up here. No, I'm not talking about Star Wars just yet. I am, in fact, talking about Spider-Man No Way Home and the new poster for the film. There you go. There's a new poster for Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm excited for this film quite a lot. It's my most anticipated film for the rest of the year. To be honest, since the beginning of 2021, it's been my most anticipated film. And that's before all the rumours started coming out, because I'm a fan of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. I actually quite enjoy them, and I'm actually going to review my reviews of, Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home will be coming soon on this channel. Probably Homecoming towards the end of this week, so do look forward to my review of Spider-Man Homecoming coming later on this week. But yes, I'm a fan of Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, so I've been excited for this movie ever since I heard it was announced and things like that. I've been looking forward to it quite a lot, and finally it's coming out this Christmas. I'm looking forward to this movie a lot. If you haven't got it already, I'm looking forward to this movie far more than I really should, to be honest. I'm not the biggest fan of the MCU, and actually this year they disappointed me quite a lot. I wanted to be surprised by Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and Eternals, and I'll be talking about Eternals a bit later in this live stream, but I haven't been surprised by any of them yet this year. So I'm hoping No Way Home is that exception. I'm hoping No Way Home is the exception that I go into this Christmas, because by the way, I'm watching it at midnight, so I'll go into this midnight screening, and I'm fully surprised by it, and I absolutely love it, or I just really enjoy it the most. That's what I want for this movie as a whole, because the thing is though, even so the past Tom Holland Spider-Man movies have had big plot holes in there, I've still enjoyed them. I've still enjoyed those movies, and I'm hoping I get the same with this movie, because I think this movie is going to be crazy. I think this movie is going to be just so crazy and so mental, and they're saying like multiverse is unleashed in the new poster for Spider-Man No Way Home. That's what all these news sources, things like that. One which I'll get up pretty shortly in this live stream. But yes, there's all these people saying multiverse is unleashed in this movie, so it's going to be crazy, and hopefully it's handled well. Hopefully it's handled well, because I've got to admit, John Watts, who's done a great job with the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies so far, has not done as good as a job as Sam Raimi did, though. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3 even he got his direction in that film. Spider-Man 3, which had a lot of studio interference with it, with Venom and Sandman, had a lot of studio interference in that film. Sam Raimi still managed to get his personal vision of Spider-Man all over that film. Whether you like it or not, you cannot disagree that Sam Raimi's direction is all over Spider-Man 3, and in the best way possible, in my opinion. And John Watts, although I like his vision for the Spider-Man movies, sometimes it does feel a bit disjointed, so hopefully it's handled well. I do have some worries that this film might be a bit messy, and I have heard some people say, oh my god, yes, but Marvel also did Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame and all the other Avengers films and Guardians of the Galaxy and like that, and those films weren't messy. Yes, that's true, those films weren't messy. In fact, I'm not the biggest fan of Avengers Infinity War, but I can sit and say, actually one of the perks of that film is that it isn't messy. Somehow they managed to balance the characters so well, and that's pretty fantastic. Just not a fan of the movie as a whole because I don't think it has much of a rewatch value, but that's neither here or there. But the thing is though, yes, Infinity War and Endgame balanced other characters well, but they were done by different directors. Actually, they were done by the Russo brothers, two directors. They had two people helming that film. And then if you look at something like Eternals, and I hate to say this, I do, because I think Chloe Zhao's a fantastic filmmaker, but the thing is though, if you look at something like Eternals, that doesn't balance all the characters well. That doesn't balance all the characters well. And yes, you can look at something like Guardians of the Galaxy, which has, a similar amount of characters, but again, that's a different director. That's James Gunn, and he did a great job, balancing all the characters again in the Suicide Squad. Yes, not a Marvel movie, but it's also from the same director who did Guardians of the Galaxy, so there's a comparison. So I'm hoping John Watts manages to balance all the characters well. I'm hoping he is like, the Russo brothers in the way that he managed to balance all the characters well when the film comes out this Christmas, but I do have my worries in that aspect. By me there. But anyway, let's jump into Google and see what they say about the Spider-Man No Way Home poster. There's me doing my live stream. Anyway, let's go here, and this is what Deadline says. Spider-Man No Way Home official poster teases Doc Ock, Green Goblin, and more. And there's a little snapshot of the poster. It's going to press cancel on that. Sony has dropped the first official poster of Spider-Man No Way Home. About time, by the way. The film's not long away. It's just over a month. It's not long away. So about time they drop the poster, because otherwise cinemas be struggling a bit. But anyway, lighting up the web with several clues linking in the background for the upcoming follow-up to Spider-Man Far From Home. And then basically it talks about the anticipation going up and things like that for the new Marvel movie. And yes, if I jump back onto OBS here, give me a sec, and I jump back onto the poster, I don't know how well you can see it there, but if you can't, by the way, go and look up the poster yourselves. But if you didn't know already, this poster basically confirms that Sandman, Electro, and Green Goblin are all in this movie. Now, you can't see Green Goblin very well, but if you look at the lightning, which is basically confirming Electro, there you have one little bit, you have this person who's on like a hoverboard thing. That's Green Goblin. It's Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. Someone's focusing on that on Twitter, I saw it this morning. That's Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. That's exciting. So finally, we're going to have a movie where Alfred is Dr. Octopus, the best Spider-Man villain to date, in my opinion, and, Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, the second best Spider-Man villain to date, in my opinion, are going to be in a movie together, hopefully in a scene together as well, but going to be in the same movie together. That's exciting. But also, I want to point out that Electro has definitely confirmed. Jamie Foxx has actually been doing interviews recently, because I think he's got like a new project coming out, and he's been saying, I'm not in Spider-Man Home. He's been denying his appearance in Spider-Man Home. The poster confirms that, and also Tom Holland actually confirmed in an interview with Total Film the other day, and also Sandman in the background. Look at all the CGI sand. It's Sandman's back, and actually, I think I covered this in my last live stream. Basically, Sandman is back, and so is the Lizard. So Sandman, I think when they say him out, Thomas Hayden Church. Yeah, Thomas Hayden Church is Sandman from Spider-Man 3, and Wizard fans, the Lizard from the Amazing Spider-Man 1 are both back. Even so, the Lizard isn't on this poster. It has been confirmed by Empire Magazine that he is back, and I do reckon in the second trailer, which I think is coming out shortly, by the way, and I'll be briefly talking about that a bit later in this live stream, I do reckon we're going to get a better look at the Lizard in the second trailer, but he's not on the poster yet. He's not on the poster, but also, I don't think this is the main poster. I don't think this is the main poster, or at least maybe it might be the main poster, but maybe there's more to it. Because when the official poster came out for the Amazing Spider-Man 2, it had like one bit of the poster, and then had like two other bits of poster you could stick with it. And actually, maybe after the trailer, and just pure speculation, I don't know, but maybe after the trailer, we'll have like two other bits of the poster you can stick onto it, and maybe one bit of the poster will be Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and the other bit will be Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Pure speculation, I don't know. But it does make you think, because bear in mind, we don't see the other half of Doc Ock's tentacles. I almost said Sandman's tentacles, I don't want to make any sense. But yes, we don't see a little bit of Doc Ock's tentacles. And also, I don't know, if this is the main post for the movie, it's not a bad post, I'm not saying that. It's definitely better than the Spider-Man Far From Home and Spider-Man Homecoming posters. But at the same time, though, it feels weird that this would be their only poster for the movie. Because I think either we're going to get another poster after the trailer, which will probably have all the other characters, like maybe have MJ and Ned on there as well, maybe Aunt May, if she's had some important role in this film, and maybe Happy will be on the poster as well. But yes, I don't know, but I've got a feeling that this isn't the main poster. Because if it is, it's a weird way to market this film. And again, I'm going to be talking about it very, very shortly. But I think there's no reason this isn't the main post yet. But anyway, yes, like I said before, this poster though does confirm that Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is definitely in this film, and also I think he's gonna be one of the main villains. Like I think there's gonna be 5 villains in the film. Doc Ock, Green Goblin, Sandman, Electro, and the Lizard. That's 5 main villains, and I do think we might have an appearance of Tom Hardy's Venom as well because of the Venom Let There Be Carnage post-credit scene. But again, that's not been confirmed, just pure speculation. But I do think he'll make a cameo appearance or be in a post-credit scene. But anyway, yes, there's going to be 5 villains in this film. But at the same time, though, I forgot what I was going to say then. I completely lost my train of thought. Yes, there's going to be 5 villains in the film. That's quite exciting. That's what I'm going to say. There's going to be 5 villains in this film, and that's exciting. The fact that they're getting all these 5 villains together, and the fact these actors are coming back. The fact that they got Alfred Molina return as Dr. Octopus, a character he hasn't played for, 17 years. Same Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin. Because the funny thing is, Willem Dafoe, I think when Spider-Man Homecoming came out in 2017, he criticised that movie. He said it was just a cash grab, and now he's in the franchise. So I just found that a bit odd that he's criticised him, and now he's in the 3rd installment in the Homecoming trilogy. So though that's all a bit funny and things like that, and it's exciting that all the villains are coming back. It's basically confirming it now, and I mean it doesn't confirm the Lizard, but Empire Magazine did that, and so it's looking more and more likely that it's going to be like a multiverse madness movie, which is kind of odd by the way because the new Doctor Strange is going to be Doctor Strange in the multiverse of madness, but this also looks like multiverse of madness as well, but Spider-Man-esque multiverse of madness, which leads me on to my next point though. Basically, Tom Holland has talked about all the villains in this movie come together. It's like 3 generations coming together in Spider-Man. This is what he says here in a quote from Cinema Blend, although it's actually a quote from Total Film, but they took it from there. So anyway, Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is in full effect, with Eternals recently arriving in theatres and expanding the universe in a big way. Now fans are looking ahead to the next installment in the franchise, John Watts' Spider-Man No Way Home, and Tom Holland can't stop or won't stop denying Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in the threequel. And here's what he says. People don't believe me when I say that Maguire and Garfield, I didn't actually say Maguire and Garfield by the way, but people don't actually believe me when I say that they're not coming back, but people are going to have to believe me at some point. It means a lot to me. The first time you see Doc and the rest of the characters that come back, it's so exciting. It's such a huge moment in cinematic history. It's 3 generations coming together. Just going to reiterate that last line there. It's 3 generations coming together. Okay. And, right, we do have to bear in mind, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield might not be in this movie. That hasn't been officially confirmed. But 3 generations coming together, what perfect way to do that would be through all 3 Spider-Men appearing together on the same screen. Oh yeah, the villain thing makes sense. Okay, that's 3 generations of, Spider-Man come together with all the different villains, Electro, the Lizard, that's, the Andrew Garfield generation of Spider-Man, and then you also have the Sandman, Green Goblin, and Doc Ock coming back. That's the Tobey Maguire generation of Spider-Man. Yes, that makes sense with, 3 generations of, the Spider-Man films coming together, facing off against Tom Holland's Spider-Man. That makes sense. But what better way to do that than to bring all 3 Spider-Men in? And I know he's saying there that they're not in the movie, but man alive, I've got to think that, Sony and Marvel, who are both distributing this movie, both producing this movie, pardon me there, I've just got to think that Sony and Marvel know what the fans want. They've known what the fans want ever since Tom Holland was casted as Spider-Man. Ever since Tom Holland was casted as Spider-Man, I do remember there were some talks, from what the fans want. There was no talks from big studios, but I do remember hearing online and things like that. People wanted to see these 3 Spider-Men together, and this is your chance. This is your chance. You're bringing, villains back from the previous Spider-Man films. You know what you should do as well? Bring back the Spider-Man that they faced off against. And, it might not happen. Actually, I'm doubting it a bit more than I usually do myself. Like, I've been championing the idea of three Spider-Men together in this movie for a long time now, because I think it's happening. But also, recently, it just seems to be denial after denial after denial. And if they don't confirm in the trailer, then man alive, if they are actually in the movie, that's going to be an awkward press tour, because every single question about this movie, well, will there be three Spider-Men in there? If they are not confirmed in the trailer, or not hinted at or something like that, then every single question in the press tour for this movie will be about the three Spider-Men and whether they're in it or not, and then eventually have to wait till December 17th when it's finally confirmed whether they're in it or not, and I do think they will be, but it's all I'm just starting to question it. Are they actually going to be in there? You know, Tom Holland is still denying it now, and I understand that the second trailer isn't out yet, but the thing is though, if the second trailer does come out and it doesn't confirm Tom Maguire and Andrew Garfield in this movie, then and he's still denying it, and all the cast members still denying the fact that they are in this movie, then it'll be a bit like, okay, I'm starting to believe that they're not, because there's only so much denying you can do, and there's only so much, so much of us going, I don't believe anymore, Tom Holland, I don't believe you when you say you're not in the movie, or whether it's Andrew Garfield, who seems to be promoting every other film but Spider-Man, that gets asked about Spider-Man, I'm starting to... I'm not doubting it. I still think there's a big chance that they are going to be in the movie. I think it's probably a 75% chance they're still in the movie. But also, I think there's a 25% chance that they're not. And initially I would have said, okay, it's about 90% chance in the movie, 10% chance they're not. But now I'm saying there's 75% chance in the movie. That's still a big percentage, by the way. It's not like I'm coming out there and going, you know what, I've changed my opinion now, I don't think they're in the movie. No, I still definitely think they're in the movie. But I'm also starting to doubt it a tad bit myself, because we're getting close to release now, and they may not be. However, yesterday it leaked, a bunch of pictures leaked online of the new Spider-Man. Well, we don't know if they're legit or not, and I'm not going to get the pictures up, but you can probably go and find them on Twitter if you want to, because I don't know if they're real or not, so I'm not going to get them up in case I get this video or this live stream taken down, and I don't want that to happen. But basically, yesterday, I think it was, on Twitter, John Campier, who I actually watch and follow quite a lot, I really like his content, he accidentally leaked these photos of the new Spider-Man, and it sounds like they could be real. It sounds like they could be real, and basically, they confirm Andrew Garfield and Tom Maguire in this movie. However, it doesn't, there's no confirmation that these leaks are real, which John Campier has put on Twitter. There's no confirmation that these leaks are real, but still, we've got to bear in mind that, he took them down, and apparently, according to him, because I watch his content, an executive at a studio rang him up and said, okay, these might be real, you better take them down, something like that. And, again, if they weren't real, then why would that studio executive, whoever rang him up, be so bothered about those pictures being online? I'm not saying they're real, but why be so bothered? It's like, I remember when there's a video of Andrew Garfield in 4K in the suit again, allegedly from the new Spider-Man movie, which is online as well. That got leaked like a couple of months ago now. And I remember people saying at the time, like, if it's not real, why is it getting taken down? Why is this video getting taken down if it's not real, if it's not from the new Spider-Man movie, if it's not a leaked image, should I say. And I think if it isn't real, then it wouldn't be taken down. Or I think if it doesn't, perhaps represent something that happens in the movie, then it won't be taken down as well. Because maybe those, photos which John Campbell put on Twitter aren't real. Maybe they're not from the movie, but maybe there's a very similar scene in the movie like the Photoshops he put online. I don't know. I'm just pure speculating here. I'm just speculating. I don't have a clue, but still, it would make sense. And I'm starting to think now that they are, but at the same time, no, I'm starting doubting myself, but at the same time, no, if they're not in this movie, I just think that Sony and Marvel both know it's a big missed opportunity. Kevin Feige, the head of Marvel Studios, who is involved in this film, I mean, maybe not as much as he is involved in some of the other Marvel movies that come out, but he's involved in this film, knows what the fans want. He's always knows what the fans want. And even so, I'm not as big a fan of Marvel movies, I can clearly sit here and say, Kevin Feige knows what the fans want. And I just think that they're not in this movie, it's going to have a large fan base, which is disappointing me. I was kind of thinking to myself the other day, if they're not in this movie, am I still going to like what it is? And the short answer is yes. But at the same time, though, That will be one of my big problems with it. You know, in the end, if this film comes out and Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are not in this movie, but the movie's great and it's got a really good story and it's really emotional, it's really fun to watch, then you know what? It's a thumbs up for me with this movie. But the thing is though, if they are not in this movie as well, and I still like it, it will be one of my big problems with it. Like, why do you put them in there? It would have been one of my big missed opportunities with the film, and I'll go on and on about it like I usually do. So yes, I just think it's a big missed opportunity, and I think Sony and Marvel know that the opportunity they have in their hands with the film, with bringing all three Spider-Men together, you're bringing all the villains in there together. So I just think Sony and Marvel know that it's an opportunity here to have the three Spider-Men together on the same screen in the same movie. I'll be very surprised if it didn't happen, but at the same time, though, not completely shocked. That's what I'm going to say now. At first, I would have been shocked if it didn't have them in the movie. Now, I'd just be very surprised, because the denials keep happening. And if they're not in the second trailer, pardon me there, if they're not in the second trailer, then are they actually going to be in the movie? And by the way, one last thing I'm going to say on the topic of Spider-Man No Way Home, is that I think the second trailer, the highly anticipated second trailer for Squadron Home is coming next week. Because next week also has a release of another Sony movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife. And I think there's a lot of people out there which are very excited for this movie, but there's a lot of people in, the circles I went which are very excited for the movie. There's film-loving circles, these people who are really big, nerds who can't wait for these comic book movies or wait for whatever. There's a lot of people who are really excited for this Spider-Man movie, me included, but there's also a lot of people who maybe don't actually realise it's coming out so early, so quickly after Eternals. And I do think that if they get the trailer out there, there'll be a lot of people speaking about it, especially, and this is a big if, but especially if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in the trailer. Imagine the conversation with that again. Imagine the internet blowing up. I don't know. I hope it's happening still. I hope it's happening. And I'm still going to like No Way Home regardless if they're in the movie or not, or regardless if the movie's good or not. But still, I probably like No Way Home if it's a good movie and they're not in it still. But nevertheless, don't Sony and Marvel know it's a big missed opportunity if they're not in there? They gotta know by this point. But anyway, that is the end of topic number 1 on this live stream for today. So, without further ado, let's move into topic number 2. And just before I do, I'll have a quick drink of water. I must admit, not feeling 100% on this. Not feeling 100% today. Just got to admit there, feeling a bit unwell recently. Anyway, but I'm powering through just for you guys. But before I power through, a quick drink of water. Okay, now let's talk about topic number 2. And topic number 2 is a slightly frustrating topic for me personally. And that topic is all about the next Star Wars movie and how it's been delayed. So let's jump onto Google here and get the article which talks about the delay. So here it says, from the Hollywood Reporter, a very reliable source, it says that Patty Jenkins' Star Wars movie, Rogue Squadron, has been... Oh, gonna start that again. God, my speech is all over the place. My speech is all over the place today. Can't even speak. But anyway, I'm gonna start that all over again. Patty Jenkins' Star Wars movie, Rogue Squadron, has been delayed. The first Star Wars movie since 2019's Rise of Skywalker was to have gone into production next year. However, it's now not, and that's Patty Jenkins, by the way, director of Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 1984. But anyway, this is what the article says. Rogue Squadron, the Star Wars feature project due to be directed by Wonder Woman filmmaker Patty Jenkins, has been caught in the tractor beam and will take a little longer to make it to the big screen. Jenkins and writer Matthew Robinson have been developing Squadron for Lucasfilm for over a year, with the goal of starting production in 2022. It was to have gone into pre-production by the end of this year. However, sources say the producers and filmmaking team came to the realization that Jenkins' schedule and other commitments wouldn't allow for the window needed to make the movie in 2022. Thus, Squadron has been taken off the production schedule. The hope is that once Jenkins fulfills her previous commitments, she will be able to return to the project. I'm sorry, let's just read the last 2 paragraphs again. However, sources say the producer and filmmaking team came to the realization that Jenkins' schedule and other commitments wouldn't allow for the window need to make the movie in 2022. I'm sorry. Did Kathleen Kennedy sit down with Patty Jenkins when she, Kathleen Kennedy, the head of Lucasfilm, the head and person who produces all these Star Wars movies and all these Star Wars TV shows recently, did she not sit down with Patty Jenkins when they decided to make this movie and go, okay, can we make sure that your schedule is full up? Can we make sure, can you make sure that your schedule is free so that you can come in and direct the Star Wars movie? Did they not have that conversation? Because scheduling conflicts. I'm sorry, like, when you sit down to make a movie, I mean, I don't know, but when you sit down to sign on a movie, you want to say, okay, your schedule's a bit free. My schedule's free here. I'm not directing anything here. I'm not producing anything here. I'm not writing anything here. I can come in. I can do a Star Wars movie for as long as you need me. But what is going on here? Like, what? I don't understand. Like, did you only just realise that Patty Jenkins is directing other films soon? I was under the impression that Rogue Squadron was going into production very soon, to be honest. I remember when this announcement happened almost last year. It's almost a year ago this announcement happened, because I remember it was on that Disney Plus Day, Disney Plus Investors Day, when they announced the new project and something like that. And they announced Rogue Squadron in this really fantastic way, where Patty Jenkins was talking about how personal this idea of the Star Wars movie is to her. And it was fantastic. It was a great announcement. But then over the year, there hasn't really been much news about it. Okay, we got the Raya announced, that's great. But then there hasn't really been anything else. It's kind of like, what's Patty Jenkins been doing? Has she been writing the movie? Or what? I don't understand what's been going on. And it just sounds now like this movie might not ever happen, and if it does, it's going to happen with a different director. I don't think Patty Jenkins is going to end up directing this movie, and that's unfortunate. I think she did a great job with the Wonder Woman film that came out in 2017. Not as good a job in Wonder Woman 94, but I think she's a good director, and I'd like to see, superhero directors, move on to a Star Wars movie. I think that's actually quite a good idea, and quite interesting, and I'm excited to see Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie, which is meant to come out after, but what happened here? Did Kathleen Kennedy only just have a conversation with Patty Jenkins and go, wait, you know what, you're directing Wonder Woman 3 soon, and the Cleopatra movie, so you can't direct it. Because, Patty Jenkins is also signed on to direct the Cleopatra movie for Paramount, I'm pretty sure, and Wonder Woman 3 as well for Warner Bros. So, I don't understand what's going on there. Does Kathleen Kennedy only just have that conversation with Patty Jenkins? You're directing 2 other movies, you might not be able to do this one as well. But was that conversation only just had? They not had when they signed onto the project. Man alive. And the reason this is annoying is because it's the next Star Wars movie to come out in the cinema. The next since The Rise of Skywalker. And I know we got on the Star Wars TV content, which I'm unbelievably excited for, but still, I miss Star Wars on the big screen. I miss Star Wars on the big screen. I miss Star Wars in the cinema. And the funny thing was, it was like this thing for me whenever I went to the cinema, like from 2015 to 2019 at Christmas. Apart from 2018, when we didn't have a Star Wars movie at Christmas, when I went to go to the cinema at Christmas, it was always Star Wars. In 2015 it was Force Awakens, 2016 Rogue One, then 2017 it was Last Jedi, then 2018 there wasn't a Star Wars movie unfortunately at the cinema that Christmas. We did have one that's solo, but that's coming out in summer, so we didn't have a Star Wars movie at the cinema in 2018 Christmas. But then in 2019 Christmas you have The Rise of Skywalker, and say all about those movies, whether you love them or not. Personally, I'm kind of a fan of all the ones I saw at the cinema, with the exception of Solo, but that didn't come out at Christmas. But say what about those movies, but it just, I don't know. For me personally, I couldn't deny going to the cinema at Christmas and having that feeling that you're going to watch a Star Wars movie. It's like its own Christmas present. That's what it felt like for me when I went to watch Force Awakens, Rogue Squadron, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker. Even so, I like those movies to varying degrees. It always felt like a Christmas present going to see one of those movies at Christmas. And this movie, Rogue Squadron, was meant to come out, Christmas 2023. I would have been unbelievably excited for that film. I would have gone to that film, I would have had a grin on my face before the film even started, because it would have been near Christmas, and Christmas is one of my favourite times of the year. Actually, Christmas is my favourite time of the year. Honestly, I can't wait for this Christmas. That's kind of one of the reasons I'm so excited for Spider-Man, by the way. But yes, it just would have been such an exciting experience to go to the cinema this Christmas, to go to the cinema, Christmas 2023, should I say. It's a long while away, but still, that would have been so exciting, and now it's going to be delayed, and it probably won't even come out now till, I'm assuming, summer 2023. Or 2024, should I say, actually. No, 2024! Yeah, because it wouldn't have been coming out Christmas 2023. So now we're not going to get this movie to, probably summer 2024. Pure speculation, I haven't heard anything. But that would be my guess. And that's if they get in production soon. Because, man alive, what is going on? Like, that just, That's annoying. The fact that we're gonna have to wait that much longer for another Star Wars movie. And I know Taika Waititi's got a Star Wars movie coming out soon as well, but that probably won't come out until like 2025 at the earliest now. So just, what's going on behind the scenes? What's going on behind the scenes at Lucasfilm? Like, this is not the first time this has happened. This is not the first time that director has, had problems with a Star Wars project. I mean, she hasn't actually, the Hollywood Reporter doesn't actually say she's left the project. It doesn't actually say that Patty Jenkins has left the Star Wars project she's signed on to do. But it sounds like they're easing her out. It sounds like in about a month or two time, and maybe even longer to be honest, we're going to get a new director signed onto the project. And I'm sure that director that signed on will be great. J.J. Abrams is a great director, and he took over Colin Trevorrow with Episode 9. But pardon me there. But the thing is though, he took over Colin Trevorrow. Colin Trevorrow, the director of Jurassic World, was meant to come in and direct Star Wars Episode 9, and he even had scripts and everything, but then, because of creative differences, Colin Trevorrow led the project, and J.J. Abrams, fantastic director, he did The Force Awakens, came back on to do The Rise of Skywalker, and, just there, I don't know. Even so, I kind of like The Rise of Skywalker, I still would have liked to see Colin Trevorrow's vision for that film. And then we also had the same problem with Solo. Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, the two guys who did the Lego movie and produced on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, they were meant to do Solo, a Star Wars story. But then, because of creative differences, and you think like halfway through filming, they left. Because they had creative differences with Kathleen Kennedy. And then Ron Howard brought into the project, and it was Ron Howard as fabulous director. I must admit, Solo is that one Star Wars movie that I don't really like. I've just got to admit that. But anyway, the Game of Thrones creators, D&D, I forgot the name, like DB Wise and Dan Benioff, something like that. The Game of Thrones creators, they were meant to, after Game of Thrones Season 8 finished, they were meant to come in and do their own Star Wars trilogy, and write their own Star Wars trilogy, maybe direct it as well. They left because of creative differences. And it is just kind of like, what is going on at Lucasfilm? Get your directors to make sure that their schedules are free. Make sure that you're on the same terms as them when you sit down to, present your ideas for a Star Wars movie. And even so, we have got fantastic Star Wars content out of, Disney, Star Wars and things like that. We've got The Force Awakens, we've got The Last Jedi, which is, I love in my opinion. And, we've had Mandalorian and things like that. Even though we've had some fantastic content from Disney Star Wars, there's so much that we just haven't had, though, because of creative differences. And I think that's what's happened again here. I think Patty Jenkins and Kathleen Kennedy, unfortunately, probably had some creative differences, because the article, by the way, is very vague. Sources say that the producers and filmmaking team only just realised that Kathleen Kennedy had more... Not Kathleen Kennedy, only just realised that Patty Jenkins has more projects to do. And it's kind of like, they only just realise that? And also, why does she have to leave this project then if it's because of scheduling conflict? Why doesn't she leave Wonder Woman 3 or the Cleopatra movie? I'm not saying she should, by the way. I'm all for another Patty Jenkins the Wonder Woman movie. I'm all for that. But why does she have to leave Star Wars then? I mean, she's not left yet, but I bet she will. Then why does she have to leave Star Wars for now and move on to, Wonder Woman 3 and Cleopatra instead? Why is that the case? Why isn't it the other way around then? Why doesn't she do Star Wars, leave Wonder Woman 3 behind? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with Star Wars. I don't know what's going on. It's annoying because, I want to have a Star Wars movie out sooner rather than later. I am dead excited for another Star Wars movie in the cinema. I'm dead excited for one. And to be honest, it doesn't even look like there's one coming until maybe the earliest July 2024. Okay, that's a random date there. But, summer 2024. That's what I'm trying to get at. Summer 2024. That's when it looks like we'll probably get our next Star Wars movie. But man, is that a long way away. Man alive, why can't, Lucasfilm get their directors on the same page as them? Because I just don't believe all the scheduling conflict stuff. And maybe it is scheduling conflicts. And maybe, I don't know, maybe Warner Brothers want to fast track 113. Sorry, maybe Warner Brothers want 113 directed sooner rather than later. And so maybe it was scheduling conflicts. Maybe. But if it is scheduling conflicts, why didn't they realise that sooner? I don't know. It's just a bit suspicious in my opinion. And it's also kind of annoying. As a huge Star Wars fan myself, I was excited to see another Star Wars movie in the cinema, this Christmas 2023. I'm always excited for a new Star Wars movie, and now we're not going to get one for even longer. Oh well. I don't really know what else to say about this. It's annoying. It's annoying as a Star Wars fan, and it's disappointing, and it's frustrating, and I wish that another Star Wars movie would be made soon, because I'm looking forward to the next Star Wars movie in the cinema, but I don't know when it's going to be now, and it won't even be Christmas when this next one comes out. It won't be Christmas whenever this next Star Wars movie comes out now. It's going to be some, like, summer. Probably. I mean, I'm just guessing there, but it looks like that's going to be the case because this movie is going to be delayed now, regardless of whether Patty Jenkins coming back as director. It's going to be delayed now, so Star Wars movie's being delayed again. Yay! Anyway, that is the end of topic number 2 on this live stream, and even to make myself even happier now, I'm going to talk about topic number 3, and topic number 3 is all about Eternals. Blah. Eternals! Anyway, this is my spoiler discussion on Eternals. I'm not going to give this film a big full review. I've already done that. Go and check out my review already if you haven't. But basically, let's talk some spoiler stuff about Eternals. And I'm going to give my second opinion. I saw this movie twice now. I've seen this movie twice. And the second time I went, the only reason I went the second time was because my mates wanted to see this movie and I hadn't seen them in a while. So I thought to myself, you know what? It might be better the second time. It might be better. It was just as boring as it was the first time. I hate this movie. I think it's awful. I think it's a mess. And I think it's all over the place. And I also think it's such a big missed opportunity for Marvel. This could have been a really special movie. It could have been like another Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, Guardians of the Galaxy, that's another group of characters that come together to help save the galaxy. But the thing is, though, weirdly enough, Guardians of the Galaxy works. Eternals doesn't. I don't know. I think it's awful. But if you like it, I should say, by the way, if you like it, I'm not taking that away from you. You know, there's a lot of people out there which really like this movie, and that's fantastic. That is fantastic if you like the movie more than I do, because I'm jealous, because you got to watch a movie which I wish I watched, because honestly, like I said before, I think this movie's terrible. But anyway, let's talk about some spoiler thoughts to this movie. And so here you have your spoiler warning in case you haven't seen Eternals. Spoiler warning there. If you're interested in Eternals, you haven't got one seen it yet. Spoiler warning. That is your final spoiler warning. So first of all, let's talk about the moment that I started to lose interest in the film as a whole. And that was the moment Salma Hayek's character died. Pardon me there. That was the moment Salma Hayek's character died, because just like that, I had no interest in any of the characters, because I realised that any of them could be killed off, and I didn't have enough invested in Salma Hayek I didn't have enough invested in her character, so that when she died, I just kind of like, okay, she's dead, great, but I've got nothing invested in that character to feel any emotion, and then she's back because it's like flashbacks, and the film jumps from 5000 BC to present day, and it's kind of like, okay, she's back in the 5000 BC, but I know she dies in present day. I got virtually no emotion with that character because she died in like the first half an hour. I was like, really? You really gone in that direction? Because you completely lost my interest in any other characters. Because it could be like Game of Thrones now. You can kill off any other character and I wouldn't care so much because I don't know much about them. And that's another problem with this film. It's trying to balance all these characters. There's so much characters in the film and they're all trying to have like their own moment. They're trying to have their own, characteristics. Sorry, that's a word I made up. But no, they're all trying to have their own characteristics for the film and have their own, character arc. And none of it really comes to fruition because it's trying to balance all these characters, and in the end, it just ends up becoming a mess. It becomes a mess in the end. Like, you have literally no emotion for the characters, in my opinion. And it's a shame because the actors are great, but I just got no emotion for the characters. Like Angelina Jolie, fantastic actress. But I don't know what's going on with the characters in the film, and I didn't have any interest because there's too many other characters. There was too many other characters for me to go, okay, I understand what's going on with her character. Same with Sprite, the young one. I forgot what it's called now, but the one who's trapped in a child's body and who wants to become an adult. No interest in that character because she just kind of got forced in there some random moments. Again, Drew, Barry Keoghan's character that you meet at one stage, who's got like the telepathic powers. Got no interest in his character though because he's kind of forced in there. And Lauren Whitlock, who plays the Deaf Eternal in this film, great. I really like her in the film. Actually, she's probably my favourite character in there, and I'm always impressed. And I've said it before, but I'm always impressed when a deaf actress or actor is in a movie or TV show, because that's a hard thing to do, especially if the director doesn't speak sign language. And so that's impressive that she's in this film. but she's not in the film enough for me to care about anything that happens to her. Again, I'm impressed with the fact they got a death actress in the film. That's great. But I want to care more about her, and I don't. Same with Richard Madden. The thing is, though, Richard Madden, I think, was a miscast. And that's a shame, because I think Richard Madden is a fantastic actor. He was great as Robb Stark in Game of Thrones, and he was great in Rocket Man, and he was great in Bodyguard as well. He's a fantastic actor. But he is miscast. He is miscast in this film, because he doesn't really give off that good a performance. And I understand in the end that, you know, the performance of an actor is all down to what the director wants out of that actor. So maybe Chloe Zhao wanted that sort of, you know, bland sort of acting from him in this film. But I don't believe that. And I just think Richard Madden was miscast. I actually think that if he played Droog, and I'm not saying Barry Keoghan did a bad job, by the way. I think Barry Keoghan did a fantastic job. But if Richard Madden played Droog, you know, the telepathic Eternal, I think if he played that character, maybe he would have played a bit better. But, I don't know. I think he was bad as the Eternal he played. I forgot the name of the character is. And it's just... when he turns bad as well, it's so predictable. Like, you know when they first see that Salma Hayek's character is dead in the movie? He says something like, must have been the Deviants. He's the one who says that. He says it must have been the Deviants. And for me personally, and this might not be the same for everyone, I understand that, but for me personally, I knew just like that, he was going to end up being the bad guy. He was going to end up being the bad guy because of the way that was written. If he didn't say that thing about the Deviants, then I wouldn't believe he was going to be the bad guy. But he's someone like that, and you just know, I knew anyway, that Richard Madden's character was going to turn out to be the bad guy later on in the film. And also, by the way, I don't think he's dead. Because, you know, they're all gods in the end. And by the way, it's a Marvel Fate Death universe. No character dies. Loki's died 7 times in this universe. And so, I don't believe any character's dead. And that's not a bad thing sometimes, but at the same time, though, it does kind of... you know, it doesn't really give you that much emotion, especially when Loki properly dies in this universe. Because I do think, well, if he ever does, but if Loki ever, and I know this is really on the topic of Eternals, but yeah, if Loki ever does really die in the Marvel universe, I'm going to feel no emotion because I think he might just come back. And that's a problem in the universe as a whole. But at the same time, that could also be good because you might get characters back. You know, might get characters you didn't think were going to come back. And I think Richard Madden's going to come back in the distant future. I reckon they're all going to come back. Even some of the ones that died as well, like, what's his name? Don Lee, who played the one that has a bit of a relationship with Angelina Jolie's character. I reckon he's going to be back as well. Is it Gamesh in the film? Gilgamesh, and like that. That's the name of the character in the film. I reckon he's going to come back as well. I know he died, but, you know, they're all gods in the end. Or they're all like robots. You know, they even say, you know, Kumail Nanjiani's character says at one point, okay, we're all just fancy robots. So, in the end, they're all just fancy robots. More of them can be made. And actually, that wouldn't be a bad idea for Eternals too. I don't actually think that would be a bad idea. I don't actually think that would be a bad idea to have, like, more of the same Eternals coming back. But they're all like robots. And that'd be quite interesting in my opinion. I don't think they'll go that direction, by the way. But I wouldn't mind that for an Eternal sequel. But I also think that all the characters that died in this film are definitely going to come back because I reckon they've already signed contracts as well, the actors. I reckon they signed big contracts. In fact, Salma Hayek, you know, the first character to die in the film, she's even come out and said in interviews, I've signed a multiple film contract with Marvel. I mean, even if they don't come back in present day in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they're going to come back in flashbacks. And so, in the end, there's no emotion when any of the characters die because you don't know enough about them. And also, the chances are they're probably going to come back. And also, I don't like the fact that it jumps around quite a lot. You know, it jumps around from 5000 PC to present day, or quote unquote present day in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because of all the stuff Avengers and Endgame. But yes, I don't like how it jumps around quite a lot. I also think that there's a bunch of wasted missed opportunities in there to have a really emotional story. I also think that you didn't need the Deviants in this film. Like, I understand they're in the comics. I understand that. But from someone like me who hasn't read any Marvel comics in my life, who hasn't read any comics in my life, you know, I'm watching it going, you don't need the Deviants in there. In fact, if you take the Deviants out, what you actually have is a much more interesting family story. But then, in the end, it's the end of the world. It's the end of the world again in Marvel, and I don't care anymore. I don't care when it's in the world in Marvel anymore, because you know these people are going to save the day. Even when it looks like they're not, even when half the universe is obliterated, 5 years in the Avengers stories, you know, even in the Avengers films, they end up saving the day. And I know, like, I consider the same about Guardians of the Galaxy, which is my favourite, you know, the first Guardians of the Galaxy, my favourite MCU movie to date. Yes, that's all about saving the universe. Yes, I understand that. but at the same time, though, they do it in a fun way. You know, James Gunn, one of the reasons I like his Superman movies so much is because they're kind of a play on other Superman movies. You know, there's even a line in the second Guardians of the Galaxy when it's like, oh, we're saving the universe again. Oh, we're going to be two-time Galaxy Savers this time. And, you know, that's showing it's having fun with itself. He knows he's going to do an end of the world storyline again, but he's having fun with it. And actually, I wish it kind of went in this direction in this film, but it didn't. I just would have preferred in this film, it was like, I don't know, the end of the world because of natural causes. Okay, it can still be the end of the world, but it's also a family drama, and it's about this family coming together, and betrayal. That would have been a far more interesting story, but then you got the Celestials and Deviants, and I don't care one bit about that. Pardon me there. I don't care one bit about that because I don't know the comics. And so I'm watching it going, don't care about any of this. Don't care about any of this because I have no interest in Celestials because he looks like a worse version of a Transformer. Pardon me there. But yes, Celestials look like a worse version of a Transformer from the Michael Bay Transformers films, which I hate, by the way. And also, you got all the stuff with the Deviants, which is big CGI monsters, which have no interest whatsoever because they don't speak. At least with some other Marvel villains, like, you know, Tony Young's villain from Shang-Chi, at least he's human and he actually has speech and talks quite a lot in that film, so you feel where that character's coming from. Even though I didn't really like the villain Shang-Chi, I understood him, and I did like him a lot more than I liked the villains in Eternals. Sorry, I liked the villain in Shang-Chi more than I liked the villains in Eternals. Same with the villain for, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, because it's Kurt Russell. Same with the villain for, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Same with the villain for, you know, all these other films as well, because they're played by human actors, and then when you get to these big CGI monsters to play the villains, it's like, what? I don't understand, you know. I mean, I know they're not playing the villains when this big CGI monsters are the villains of the film. I don't care. I don't care anymore. And also, I have seen some interviews, like, you know, Chloe Zhao has said things like, I use practical effects quite a lot in the film. Some of the Eternals cast has gone, you know, Chloe Zhao, she's all about practical effects. You know, that might be true. That might be true. But where the hell were the practical effects in this film? Where the hell were they? Because if I sat down and, you know, someone points out the practical effects to me, I'm sure they're there. But I cannot tell where any of them are. Honestly, the practical effects in the film were non-apparent to me. Non-apparent. But anyway, that's just another thing which didn't really work for me. And also, let's talk about the post-credit scene briefly. Okay, Harry Styles in the MCU. Great, he's not a bad actor. He was good in Dunkirk. But, don't care, because I don't care about any of Eternals. Okay, we've got the little CGI troll guy as well, voiced by none other than Patton Oswalt. Great. Don't care about him either, because I don't care about any of the Eternals at the moment, really that much. And in fact, the only character in Eternals I care about is not an Eternal. It's, you know, Dane Whitman, played by the wonderful Kit Harington. And I didn't mind the second post-credit scene either, but if they're just going to make him an Eternal, which basically makes him immortal, because it kind of does in a way, to be honest. If they're going to make another Eternal with the Black Knight stuff, because I've heard he becomes like the Black Knight later on down the line in these Eternals comics, if that's what's going to happen, then I'm going to lose interest as well. Because, I don't know, it just... That's also such an interest me. In fact, I think Kit Harington's character is the most interesting character of the film, and I don't even think he's that interesting. But anyway, it's all subjective. I can go on and on about the things like this film. It does have perks in there. It's a very well shot film. You know, Chloe Zhao has done a fantastic job with this film. I think it's one of the best, you know, best shot Marvel films today. I really do. I think it did a splendid job with the film. But honestly, the cinematography just kind of felt worthless to me after a while because I didn't care about the characters. And it shouldn't do. I should have come out of this film and gone, wow, the cinematography was brilliant. But I didn't because I just got so annoyed with the plot of the film itself. And also, the mythology stuff didn't really work for me, but because it was just told in such an annoying way. Because the thing is, though, you could probably have a drinking game in this film, and the amount of times the words Celestials, Deviants, and Humans were mentioned. Honestly, it's annoying as hell. I've seen the film twice now, and there's a big exposition scene from the Celestial when he talks about why the emergence is happening. I have seen the movie twice, by the way. Still not entirely sure why it is, but okay, the emergence in the film, it's happening, and it's literally talking like this. The emergence, Eternal, Celestial, humanity must be saved, Eternal. Like, what is this? Exposition in the most boring way possible. But anyway, also, going back onto the perks, Ramin Djawadi's score, might pronounce it wrong, his musical score for the film is brilliant. He did a great job with the musical score for Game of Thrones and Westworld, the Westworld TV show, should I say, and he also did a great score for this film. I actually think the score is probably one of the best parts of the film. I really do. I think the score works great. Unfortunately, the film isn't great though, but I think the score works great. I think the musical score is brilliant for the film. And I also think all the performances are fine as well. I think all the performances are fine. I think Barry Keoghan is a standout. So is Kit Harington. And Kumail Nanjiani is good as well. But it did kind of feel in the third act because his character just walks off. Kingo, the Bollywood dancer, Eternal, he just walks off in the third act. And it did kind of feel like Kumail Nanjiani, had a bit of a scheduling conflict there. Until, the writers went, actually, Kumail Nanjiani can't stay for the next month or so. So can we just write him out there? Yeah, that'd be fine. Because I would like to see him actually in the third act. And actually, when I was watching it the first time, I was wondering where he was. I was wondering where he was because I didn't care about the scene where he left. But then the second time I realized, oh my god, the character just leaves. He just leaves out of the moment in the film. And it's kind of like, why? And it's all over the place in my opinion. It's a huge mess. And I don't really like it. But if you do, I'm not taking that away from you. I'm not taking that away from you at all. And I should point out again here, the reasons I don't like this film is because of the filmmaking and the story. I don't think it's top-notch filmmaking. I don't think it actually was that thrilling. But no, the reasons I don't like this film is because of the filmmaking and the story, and not because of the diversity thing. I like the diversity stuff in this film. I like the fact that we get two gay characters who openly show their love on screen. I like the fact that we had the death action in this film. I like the fact that we have these powerful female characters in there. I'm happy about that. All this stuff that people call quote-unquote woke, I don't care about. I'm happy that we have these things in these films nowadays. But I just wish everything else wasn't so shit. I'm sorry. I just wish everything else wasn't so shit in this film. And it pains me to say that because Chloe Zhao, she directed No My Land. That's a fantastic film. And there's even rumours she's going to go and direct a new Star Wars movie further down the line. And I'm all for Chloe Zhao directing a Star Wars movie. As long as it doesn't have so much mythology in the Star Wars movie that she directs, I'm sure it'll be great. Pardon me there, and I'm going to start again there, and I can actually see her directing a fantastic Star Wars movie in the near distant future. But for now, her first go in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because the director will return, by the way, but her first go in the Marvel Cinematic Universe was disappointing in my opinion. It was a big disappointment, and I wish it was better. But overall, I'm going to stick with my opinion on Eternals. I think it's a 3.5 out of 10. Go and check my review already. I talk about a lot more things and make a lot more points about the things I don't like in this film. But for now, I think it's pretty awful. But anyway, that is my opinion on Eternals as a whole. That's my spoilery thoughts on Eternals. And if you have any more spoilery thoughts yourselves, please do let me know in the comment section below. And I will answer them the best as possible as well. But anyway, that is the end of topic number 3 on this live stream for today. I don't know why I'm talking about that, by the way. But anyway, that is the end of topic number 3 on this live stream for today. So that is the end of my live stream. So thank you as always for watching. And if you haven't yet, please do click down below and like, subscribe on this live stream. And look forward to many more both film and TV views and live streams coming very soon on this channel. And also remember, if you have a topic you want me to talk about in my next live stream, please let me know in the comment section below, and I'll probably talk about it in my next live stream. But until then, guys, thank you as always for watching, and see you guys again soon. But bye for now. Bye.